Hello. All right, good news, everyone. All right, so I'm talking about dream interpretation. And so here's the deal with dream interpretation. Um, so it's like it's like driving a car, right? The signs are going to come to you in, a million different ways. And you can call it God, you can call it the Holy Spirit, you can call him Bob, you can call him whatever you want to call him, or her, or they, whatever. But they're trying to speak to you, and it's usually like a whole group of people. Much like that Medium movie with Ricky Gervais, where it's just like they want to talk to you, but you may not necessarily see the point in talking to them. You may not see why Bob Hope is talking to you, and why your friend keeps saying helicopters, helicopters to you, and why a helicopter is flying over right now. And you need something to put the connections together so you don't end up looking crazy like Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and like with the whole conspiracy board. And so that's what I do. So when you get a tarot reading, that means like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to you about what the tarot cards, what signs are coming up in the tarot cards, and what they're trying to tell you and what you need to know. And when I do dream interpretation, I'm like, okay, well, so tell me about what's going on in your dreams. I'm going to tell you what my tarot cards tell you have to, what my tarot cards and my intuition have to say what that dream is trying to tell you. When you do an animal signs reading, it's this, okay, like I've been seeing a lot of things online about tarantulas or corgis or spiders or something, some type of animal spirit has been speaking to me, and then I'll most likely use my animal spirit cards and my tarot cards to kind of figure out, okay, what is God trying to lead you to? What is God trying to say to you by showing you a million pictures of chihuahuas? What is God trying to say to you by making you have dreams of you kissing people that you don't want to kiss? Right? What is the universe trying to say to you when you're doing a tarot reading and you keep seeing the Three of Wands over and over again? That's what I'm here to answer. But like I keep trying to coin is that like I'm very much like Tim Curry's character in Clue, where I'm like, okay, I can lead you to where the answers are. And I use my psychic intuition, like in the tarot cards as confirmation. But you have to be willing to see how the dots connect. And if you're not willing to see how the dots connect and how the final picture is all pulled together, and some people are like that. Some people, they can't see the final picture until all the dots are connected and the lines are filled in and it's all colored in. You're like, oh, okay, now the numbers and the dots are gone. I can see what this was trying to say to me. Just like angel numbers. And I know that there's a lot of people with like low self-esteem, or people who believe themselves to be wicked, and so they believe all signs to be wicked. So it's like, oh, if you're a bad person, then every tarot reading you're gonna get is bad. It's not tarot that's bad. You're bad. You could be seeing angel numbers over and over again, and you're like, oh, those angel numbers. Every time I see them, something bad happens. And it's like, no, 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 no. You're just constantly doing bad things. The angel numbers are probably telling you to like go the other way, and you're like, nah. And you know exactly what they mean because the universe has taught you. And there's that song, I Saw the Sign, and then there's Bill Engvall, There's Your Sign, right? So there's some people, I believe that black cats are good luck, but some people might believe that black cats are bad luck. And that might be the one sign that they pay attention to. Some people, they might read astrology and they only pay attention to their sun sign because that's the one sign they pay attention to. Even for myself in astrology, there's so much like nuance and like different degrees and angles of things that I just kind of focus on the planets and where they are. And I'm like, okay, so I feel like the positive aspects of this planet being in this sign are X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to focus and hum and harmonize on that. And, if I'm trying to fly a helicopter during retrograde and that shit crashed, that's my ass. You know what I mean? I knew better. So, and I'll pop back up. Just as ignorant. Twice as ignorant. Just here to learn the same lessons, Samasara, over and over and over again. And that's life. And I think like that is like the ignorance in humanity, because secretly we all do know that reincarnation is there. So I'm like very tied to this mortal coil. I love being here. Um, I don't need to croak to see how, doing yoga or doing things that are a little bit unconventional can save my life. As I see like convention as being a psychological holocaust, where it's like you're just, like fuck building ovens and gas chambers, like, have them burn and gas themselves, yeah. So I just like, don't do that. And then I don't have to be a part of it. And then I'm free. In the best type of way. Nine of Pentacles, independent from the system, or in a way to build, in a way of building independence away from the system, because that is the system. And it's like, if you get on, government assistance, or let's say like the government does come down on angel wings, like, okay, guys, like, you got us. Like, we've been like trying to kill you for like eons, and it's been a whole cult and cabal and weird sacrifices and shit. But we're ready to like give that shit up because the resources are tough, and we kind of need the people to start a new cabal. Um, you know, and it's even, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I think this is supposed to be this is about dream interpretation. So maybe you're having like wild dystopian dreams. Um, but I always said, like, if George Bush in the early 2000s was like, hey, like, we're broke and we need to go hit a lick, and the Middle East is an easy target, like, that would have been an easier sell to me than like all the other shit that they were trying to make that war about. It's like, oh yeah, we need money. We're robbing people. That's what war is. Hello, hello. Like, you don't need to like pretend to be straight and hate anime. Like, you really took out your biggest like like, if you think like Blackwater is strong, if you think like, whatever, like, anime people, they know about magic, they're like into body, like, Dragon Ball Z has got them all into like bodybuilding to, you talk about impossible body standards. So the wrong, like, if you're trying to hit a lick in the Middle East, the wrong thing to do is to attack like anime people or otakus, because they like pretend to know karate, and like pretending's like the first step, to knowing anything. So that could have been like a whole army. Like, it's if like literally if George Bush would have been like, oh, I'm super about Pokemon and Simpsons and fighting foodons or whatever the hell. I think that he would have been able to get us all to like go and fight his, go to his labyrinth in the sand. What is, like, the Minotaur? Anyway, what is this of dream interpretation? Yeah, so a lot of people, so even as I'm forgetting, a lot of people forget their dreams and they don't necessarily have a dream journal. I would just wake up and record it. The best thing to do is to not try to smoke or eat or drink too much before you, like 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed. Most people say like not at all, but that's where like the forgetting comes in. I'm hearing the words Darwin. I mean, like, that's not me. This isn't me. But it's like somebody's talking about like social Darwinism, and maybe that's like, old people, ghosts, stuff like that, trying to communicate with you. That, I mean, I think that even in like a Def Comedy Jam stand-up set about race, I think that even in just in the globe itself, that you know I think there's like, a million races on this planet, whatever, but like, I guess like the five superseding categorical, because categories are fake anyway, like to say that there's five, whatever, like the Voltron, the Power Rangers that are this planet. Like, every part is necessary. Like, without the legs, you'd be spinning in space. Without the head or torso, it's like super scary. So it's like, why are these legs running towards me? And then sometimes like you're having dreams and you're trying to understand, like, is it Sometimes the dream is a remembrance to an actual event, like, someone could have tried to poison you and you like shouted about it because you knew there were cameras around. So we were like, oh, expose this person. And you might have forgotten about it because you were drinking. And your dream is like trying to remember, like remind you, like you know this happened, right? Like your spirit guide's like, hey, you remember that this happened? Like this person tried to put something in your drink and you screamed and made a whole scene about it because you're a vaudeville character. Um, you know. And then sometimes dreams will tell you things like where your future is heading. Like if you continue down, like just like a tarot, like there's times where I've had dreams and it's literally just been like nobody's face, nobody's distinct finger, just the tarot card, just like this tarot card. This is happening. Two of Wands reversed. A bad plan. A trip that's going to go awry. Bad plan. Don't go. Like someone offers you going on a trip. Don't go. Two of Wands. I've done tarot readings for like I don't know what was wrong, but I had this dream. I was doing a tarot reading for somebody in the dream, and I was just so exhausted, and I was just like, "Oh my god! Like no! Like look at it again. It's bad." Like, and I know like when you're like, uh, I don't want to call you like sheeple, but like when you're like halfway in the matrix, like one foot in, one foot out, like like a trying to be stable person. Yes, a stable. I'm calling you a sheeple, but a person with stability. Uh, it's very hard to take a tarot reading, I guess, literally, or a dream interpretation or astrological reading literally. But and especially when you feel like the person that you're getting it from is in survival mode. But it is when you are in survival mode that your third eye, no matter how calcified, no matter how messed up your diet is, will activate. And I've seen that happen with like because there's all those like I feel like all of the manifestation gurus on YouTube are giving you manifestation hacks, right? Which is very important. Um, because I'm all about cheat the system. Like because like if you give up things, right, where your body is used to eating tons of sugar and meat, and you go vegan or vegetarian, your body's gonna be like, oh my god, you're psychic, right? Like wake up. We need meat and we need sugar. Like come on, get up, get up, get up. Or like if you give up drinking or smoking or things that are highly addictive, like you can literally give up television and become psychic. If you're heavily addicted. Because it is probably just like the one thing that is blocking your vision. Yeah, so I've had dreams or it's just been tarot cards or tarot readings. But yeah, I mean, and the thing too about the tarot cards, as I'm saying, like the tarot is it's a Bible comic book, right? We all kind of have similar dreams, right? Like we all have the dream of like going to school in your underwear. We all have the dream of like, um, I don't know, like people have like the sleep apnea demons and stuff. But like we have those like kind of like trope dreams, wet dreams, like when you're coming of age, and like just all these things that we've kind of written down in books. Like people have dreams of whales, people have dreams about mice, people have dreams about just like different images. Why am I having dreams about a deer? Like deer aren't that bad. It's not that ominous. Uh, but that's what I'm kind of here because it's like it's just it's very simple for me where I'm like okay like the deer spirit like you need to be nimble or like in need of you're actually like in need of protection like there's people trying to hunt you like Elmer Fudd. Uh, and Elmer Fudd's not always a man. Elmer Fudd, just as gender ambiguous as Bugs Bunny is, Elmer Fudd more most likely is a man or is a woman. I mean, she's a man, but like you know what I mean. Um, you know, Michigas. I mean, not even to say like Michigas, like Bullion Bays. You know what I mean? Bullion Bays. Like it's a mixture. Um, but so let's see. Let's see like the one card. Oh my god. And this is where, like, I guess the production value would increase if it was on camera, because I did say like something about the Three of Wands earlier, I think maybe, but Three of Wands, right? So the tarot are, they are like canonical dreams. May perhaps the Bible is just simply like a dream journal. You know, oh, I had this, the dream about I had a dream I was in a whale. You know, I had a dream about this. Oh my god, me too, I had the same dream. No way. Yeah, we should write this down. You know what I mean? I had this dream, this guy, like, blah, blah, blah. We had no wine. We had no wine and we had no bread and we had no fish, and he just, like, multiplied it. Oh my god, I was at the dream too. What was his name? Oh, yeah, like, dude. He's like our, like, dude. Edit. His name was, like, you know, Jesus or something, I guess. And, you know, he's like, they're like, oh, okay, well, he's like was he even real? Like, he's like our dream best friend, like our best friend that shows up in our dreams and like shows us the road to abundance. Oh my god, I had this dream that like he died. Yeah, but then he came back. You know, and then so I think like that astral realm, even to the story of the New Testament, as it might just be a retelling of Jacob in the, you know, in the coat of many colors, which the Technicolor dream coat, you know what I mean? The coat, oh my god, he had this beautiful coat. Was it even real? I don't even see it anymore. Was it just a dream? To the point that his whole family was willing to, like, you know, sell him out and throw him into a bottom of a hole because of it. And yeah, so I think, like, if you do want to find some explanation for your dreams, I think that a lot of your answers will lie in the Bible, because the Bible, I think, you know, if you really read it, as I've only really read the Old Testament, but if you really read it, uh, there are lessons, and you can find lessons. Like, I can find lessons watching Futurama. I can find lessons, you know, like watching two squirrels fight outside. But it's more so just stories. It's more so just like stories, and what I truly do believe are collective dreams that we've all had as people, that we've needed to remember and remember our ancestry, and you know, to take you know, white supremacy and racism and capitalism and stuff out of the stories, to a global community, you know, a world without borders. It's like we need to, you know, all of the genealogy of like Adam and Eve, as like, as it may scientifically not make sense, and as men and women may have the same number of ribs in their cage, and not, you know, that whole rib thing is a lie. Um, you know, we need to remember that we're a global family. And I think that message is missed out a lot in the Michigas. And in the like, literally, they should change the name from the Torah and the tarot and the Bible to like the Michigas. It's like all these stories and all these dreams, but like at the end of the day, what we all need to remember is that we're all one galactic family. Ew, gross. Like, who had babies with who? I don't know. You probably, like, Adam probably started having babies with zebras. That's not the question here. It's just that it doesn't matter if you're half human, half zebra. It doesn't matter if you are calico or albino. Just remember that you're family. You know, because it takes a tribe of dark-skinned people to raid a village at night like a ninja. You know, like, you can't have, you know, I don't know, armies. And yeah, so the Three of Wands talks about Moses. It talks about the Hebrews. It talks about it talks about leaving oppression, leaving an oppressive situation. I mean, the Three of Wands is like, to me, it's like the Ojama trio from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Beavis and Butthead and Daria sitting on the couch getting high together. It's like a oh my god! I mean, I say so much worse things. Like, it's like three dudes with their dicks out. You know what I mean? Because wands are penises. Like, I don't feel like I have to censor. I mean, I know I have like this cutesy little cartoon shit, but like, wands are penises. They're wieners. People have wieners, and that's what the Three Wands are. You know what I mean? Like, you know, um, but so I mean, the Three of Wands to me is the story of like Exodus. and I'm talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, like Exodia, like Exodus, like Trump card, like we're fucking leaving. How about that? We're leaving. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I'm packing up my marbles and I'm fucking leaving, bro. Three of Wands, packing my shit up and going. How you gonna get across the river? Literally, God is going to part this river for me. Like it's so like, and that's the thing too. Like Gara of the Sand too, where it's like, look, I'm not saying that I'm godly or divine. I have noticed a pattern of protection where if I needed to cross the Red River, like the fucking Mississippi would dry up and I would be able to walk across it and get home if I need be. Like weird shit like that. I mean, that hasn't happened to me, but I'm sure that's happening for somebody right now. You know what I'm saying? So even in a drought, like you might be thinking that this is a tragedy. You might even want to go to the whole church and sing a choir about how much of a tragedy it is. But like, and not to be toxically positive, but it's like you also have to sing a gospel of how much of that tragedy was a blessing. Or that, it's the yin and yang. It's a bouillon base. It's two fish circling in a pond. It's koi fish, Uh, Look at the colors of koi fish. They range from gold to black to white to, all gold and all black and all white, and then like a mixture of the three, and then like a mixture of the two. Um, and so that once we understand that we're this tribe, that we're this soup, you know what I mean? Like not necessarily a mixing pot, but we're this soup. Um, uh, and so even dream interpretation and tarot card readings and uh, you know, pendulum readings and astrology. Because it's like when I was younger and I was into astrology, studying the tarot only because I'm like, oh, well, the tarot talks about astrology. Like, tarot's not like real magic or anything. Totally trying to find my spiritual ego by denouncing another practice. Uh, it just like came up more and more. Every astrology page I was on talked about tarot, and I was like, okay, well, if this person that I respect so much who talks about the stars also believes in tarot, and I study tarot all the time and have a tarot deck and do tarot all the time, there's probably some validity to it. And I mean, that was like that's like what my first 12 years of life. Like, shame on me for not embracing a practice that's not fully embraced by society. But whether if it's tarot, whether if it's meditation, whether if it's yoga, it doesn't have to be from the far east. It doesn't have to be from the far west. It doesn't have to be from the north nor south. It can be from wherever. It can come. You can make it up. You know what I mean? You can literally watch a cartoon on YouTube and become activated and create this power within yourself. You can take a pen and paper and say, hey, hey, this world, this matrix, and put it in like a little bracket. Like, hey, this matrix that I'm creating on this piece of paper, I have these powers. This is my ability. This is my archetype. Um, these are my attributes. These are my traits. Yada yada. Yada yada garatsu. So there's also been this heavy icon. I guess it's like a animal interpretation. But there's been this heavy iconography of the raven, and the crow. I don't know. There's a Native American tale about the raven and about a fire, and being burned black. So or something like that. Like, but that's something about a rainbow. I don't know. Whatever story, whatever tribe the story's from. I guess I'm not the one to tell it, but there is, this message about the Creek Indians, about the Chickasaw, and the pawpaw fruit. So just, I guess, like, if you're seeing some weird fruit or tasting some weird fruit in your dream, I think that's what it is. People say that it tastes like a banana, but it kind of seems like a durian to me. A jackfruit of all trades. So the Three of Wands, like I said, it's like Moses parting the Red Sea. It's the Hebrews. And so when I do dream interpretation, like, I would see what, like, you've been seeing in your dreams. I would pull up the cards, and we would talk about it. And the thing is that, like, all these things turn into a cycle, right? So you come here for an animal signs reading, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm seeing like a beaver, and then you're like, oh my god, I live in Ottawa or something. I don't even know if they have beavers there, but maybe, like, they have something, and it's your parents work in construction and concrete and plaster. I see something where it's like a giraffe, so you come from a family of like tall people. I see this other thing where it's like sometimes like animal signs are like, to me, like sometimes animal signs are very unflattering, right? Like nobody wants to be the cougar, or nobody wants to be the rat, or nobody wants to be the pig, but the Chinese zodiac or the lunar zodiac says to me that the more humans don't like your sign, the more better it is to be that sign, because, and yes, more better that it is to be that sign, because um of course humans don't like pigs, because pigs can eat a human. Of course humans don't like rats, because rats can eat humans, right? So if they're saying to you, if the star signs are saying to you like, hey, remember, not everybody has to be a spring chicken, and not all, and like, you know what I mean, and you know what happens to them. Like they eat them first. They'll let the rooster live to be 100 and wake the whole farm up 7 hours late every day. But they eat that chicken like the spring it's fucking born. You know what I mean? Um, so it's a little bit better to be a dairy cow, or to be a pig, or to be an ox, or to be a mule, because it is actually camels. Camels are marketing. Camels are not good to travel in the desert. Travel with through the desert. They're llamas. They're like a weird hybrid of llamas. They're actually like a new animal that they sold and marketed to sell to ride through the desert. They're not good. They're not good for desert travel. So like if you're in a, like, not a tough spot, but like if all the zoo animals go feral and you have to choose between riding into town on an ass, or riding into town on a camel, just so you know, the whole trope of like the camel keeling over and someone having to sleep in it is because they're not good for going through the desert. It's like you have to stop believing marketing and the things that you've seen. King Yam, like 1,000 asses, 1,000 donkeys, even Jesus Christ rode onto town on an ass. You know what I mean? Because he was traveling through the desert. And if you look a donkey in the face and you look at their eyebrows and their eyes, they're actually like very beautiful animals. They're like very beautiful, and like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, like, yeah, they're sad because everybody rides on them. They very much are like, like a goat or Capricorn, where it's like everybody knows that they're the best, but they don't get any glory. They're like made fun of. They're a joke, blah blah blah. But they do that to people who are the best, right? If you're going to a butcher and he's selling these sandwiches for $5, and he's like hand curing the meat, and like it's just like it's a show and a production and a theater and a circus, and like you're like, bro, you could definitely be selling these shits for like $30. Like, are you crazy? Um, uh, of course, like if you don't have any money in it or like any stakes in it, you're like, oh yeah, at least should be $3. Like this is not even that good. And a lot of people do take that route. So you just have to know that like people will try to make an ass of you if they can. Not when in actuality you're the goat. Um, yeah. So that's how dream interpretation and animal spirits go. They kind of go hand in hand. Everything kind of goes in hand in hand. Like I said, it's a soup. It's a soup, and then I always say that astrology is the saison. So there's that, and I'm also seeing the Six of Pentacles a lot here. So I guess I'm supposed to talk about subscribing and liking and donating, and booking your appointments on Square Appointments. Square, it's the same thing that all those food trucks use that is so damn trustworthy. So you can pay. You don't have to like as maybe it's like a millennial thing, and maybe it's like a trigger warning thing. But I'm like, yeah, okay, well, like, okay, maybe you don't want to talk about mediumship, right? Like, for me, mediumship is like getting the milk directly from the cow, right? It's like, maybe you want a pasteurized message. So we will talk about the animal signs you've been seeing. We won't talk about your grandmother or your great grandmother and how they're trying to pester you or talk to you. We'll talk about the signs that she's sending you, right? So then we do an animal spirit reading, and it's like, okay, she keeps saying like cow spirit, like the farm, like they take care of the farm, take care of your kitchen, moo. Like cows and pigs are like great animals. Like don't denounce their names. Um, Cow and Chicken. I just love that show. And so I'm like, okay, well, like book a reading. I'll try not to talk about ghosts and like your ancestors and stuff, but it's usually a part of it. We'll talk about animals. Okay, we'll talk about your dreams. And we'll talk about it at this specific time at your choosing. And then you get to pay respect to me for my time. And it's like very one hand washing another, just like washing hands, together. Spiritually, mentally, to gain clarity. Because as every time that I do a reading for someone else and I receive the clarity of their message, it brings a lot of clarity to like the messages that I'm receiving as well. Um, like the blue jay, the cardinal, and the robin, and the oriole, and what they're trying to tell you. Uh, so something might have went missing, and you can literally like Mateo Lane. Like you can literally go out to the old oak tree around your house or go outside your house and start speaking to certain animals like the crows, like whatever animal you have like a resonance with. Like I love crows. The first animated gift I ever made was of I think a raven. I don't think they're separate animals, but like I said, moth and butterflies are actually the same animal, so who knows? Um, and crows or cardinals. I remember when my grandfather passed, I would always see cardinals. Uh, and so I think that like that is like a animal of like leadership. And I would see blue jay. Oh my god, I would see like huge like if I was an animal that ate blue jays, like I've seen some like big ass like Articuno like big ass looking blue jays. Like if I was a cat, I would fuck that blue jay up and like be satisfied for months. Like a chicken, like chicken sized blue jays. Um, so I'm seeing that is like a sign of prosperity and abundance. But also like psychic intuition and like is a messenger. Pigeons, girl. I can't tell you the last time I've seen a pigeon. And I don't know if that's good or scary because I know they're kind of like chickens. They're supposed to be farmed and stuff, but I'm telling you, I come from a city that used to be like overrun with pigeons, and now they're like extinct. So that's good. I don't know if that's good or bad, but uh, yeah. So I don't know if you've been seeing like pigeons are kind of gross. I'm kind of like I don't miss them a little bit. So that's the message I'm receiving. Oh yeah. So it's like like that's why I like the appointments and stuff. And I know that like a lot of people have like trauma around being on the phone, abandonment issues, parents in the military, parents in prison, and it's just like the phone just kind of like really like phone conversations just really bum you out. And I know that's like it even transitions into the business world. It transitions into people not being able to like take on certain jobs because it's like got to make a phone call and like oh my god like what if they don't pick up you know uh so it's something I understand, so that's why I do the videos because I'm like oh yeah like I've gotten over this hurdle and this trauma in my own creative way, but I know that there's still a lot of other people out there that are healing, that they're like oh I don't like I don't sound like a scholar, I don't sound like I went to Harvard. I don't have a filter I can put on my voice to make me sound intelligent. And it's like, you are intelligent. Intelligence doesn't sound a certain way. You know, like, just chill out, bro. Chill out, bro. The message that your dignity does not lie within your accent. It does not lie within between your legs. It does not lie between uh, the purposeful mistakes of your past. It lies within your message. You know what I mean? Like, even if you are the most miserable drunk, but as long as you go out there like, oh, you probably shouldn't do this. You know what I mean? If you are like some type of moped daredevil, like what's that guy? I'm hearing Dukes of Hazard, but what's the guy? Daredevil, like the Daredevil. Um, Jesus. I don't know. He like jumps over buses or something. Uh, if you're him and you're just like, don't do this at home, kids. Like, there you go. There you go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm jumping through hoops of fire. That doesn't mean that you have to. And that's the purity of your message. So yeah, I mean, even in this waffling and this rambling, that is dream interpretation. Like, what are your dreams trying to say to you? What are all these things trying to say to you? It's trying to say all these things I'm saying. Human families, we're a human family. You don't have to be you don't have to be a daredevil. And actually, it's really funny because I was posting these things onto Twitter, and are really synchronistic, and I couldn't find I couldn't find anything about Daredevil. Like, I was trying to post like different tarot cards that coincide with different like superheroes or X-Men, so people could kind of like find themselves in the cards. And I was trying to put Daredevil as like the King of Wands because like the King of Wands like he might struggle with his 3D vision, but his 4 and 5D vision are like totally activated. And he has like a stick, you know what I mean? Because he can't see, so he's like blind a little bit, but he sees things. Like I mean, he's unsure of stuff. Like he's like afraid of someone like spray painting. Is this from Glee? Like somebody spray painting like homophobic slurs on their house or something, or that's happened before on their car. I see it like on a house and a car. Um, you can protect yourself with your vibration. And I know like how that sounds, but when you're fighting a war and you may not have any more ammunition, like sometimes you might have to do some Foley acting. Uh, you know, Foley acting and scream like Mel Blanc to truly achieve what you need to achieve. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with that message. I'm gonna do more of these and keep spreading the good news. Bye.